final day of reflection for 2015-16 took place right before our final examinations for the year, and it included all 6 through 12 students, all 6 through 12 teachers, and very importantly, all administrators. We focused primarily on 2 questions. The first was, in looking back at the totality of our year, what were we most proud of? And then connected to that, of course, was where do we want to go next year? And the answers that we got to these questions, which we shared with each other on this day, were really demonstrative of the diversity of our campus and who we are as individuals and as a community.
But also that slowing down doesn't mean doing less necessarily. It means thinking more, but we have to create that time, and got some really good ideas about how we as teachers and administrators could think about slowing things down for everybody so they actually can spend the time to do the thinking that they need and not have you feeling like we're racing, and then we're going to stop 3 times a year. We need to slow down, I think, across the board. The idea being that you're going to work harder because you're going to think more, but it's not going to feel as stressful and rushed. So that was a great takeaway from my group.
What I'm most proud of this year is making positive connections with my students and hopefully making them enjoy the class that they're in with me, learning Spanish, learning about culture, learning about Spanish-speaking people.
The way I would have felt as a teenager about these days was exactly how I was feeling as an adult. I was intimidated by the process. I was intimidated by sharing, the thought of sharing things that I may be vulnerable about or be not confident of, but I also was intimidated by having to talk about my own accomplishments or something, a talent or something that I was proud of, because that's not in my nature.
The sports teams I've been on, the football team, basketball team, and baseball team, just because this year especially, like the teams I've been on, all 3, have come together really well as like a group, and it was more than a team, like we were all like family basically.
What I'm most proud of is the connections that I've made here with students and staff, and my ability to be more flexible about what learning looks like and what learning can feel like.
I'm most proud of how I've been able to manage my time this year. I've been able to be part of 3 different teams in our school, and I've also been able to manage my time doing homework, and everything's just been very successful. I've gotten great grades in all of my classes.
One of the things I'm proud of about my year and about my time at Wooster so far is the relationships that I've made with some of my students, and being able to create a space that students really feel comfortable being themselves in and finding the kind of space they need in order to be creative.
I'm proud of being a leader in publications. I'm proud of being a leader on and off the field. I'm proud of being a leader in the theater program. I'm proud of being a leader in effective change in Wooster.
Some things that I'm not interested in are things that I don't know that much about. So if I just take a little more time to try to get to know what I'm doing, it'll make me more interested automatically.
To get in a slump, especially around February, because it's such a long stretch, and that it's really important to get out of that slump, and it can be really tough on everybody, but once you get out of that slump, it feels really good and you're really proud of that.
I also, in this group, we talked about how age plays a role in our life and how we think our life should be considered, that we want to be happy, and at the same time we want to get out of our comfort zones and do stuff and get stuff done and be successful in our life.
And after listening to Dr. F's reflection, I decided to write my reflections more subjective. Please show us.
I'm most proud of my essay on friendship and power, because I worked really hard on that, and I think it showed my improvement in writing throughout the year.
For next year, I'm most looking forward to just being in the upper school and having the freedom and taking upper school classes.
And that's kind of the attitude I have when going into senior year, is I want to be able to take responsibility for things I do wrong and then be proud of the things I do right.
Next year, I'm looking forward to working on becoming more resilient in difficult situations and shaking off the bad days. I find that sometimes I take things really personally and have a hard time coming to work with a fresh start, and I know that all students want a fresh start every day when they come to school, so that's something I'm going to try to model next year, is how to let things go and be more positive and present with each day as it comes.
When we're talking about what we're most proud of throughout the year, typically, I know for at least myself and a lot of my other previous group members, it didn't focus a lot more on a specific work that we produced, like an actual physical assignment that we completed really well, and somehow we learned a lot of new things in it. But this time, the majority of where our pride came from was more along the lines of how we approached work this year, the effort we brought to our work, more than any one specific piece of work. I thought it was really cool that we can be proud not necessarily of the evidence almost of how we work, but just the fact that we know that we've done our best in all the work that we've produced and that we've really tried, and I think that's really cool.
You can see we all, students, teachers, and administrators, grew a lot this year, and we had a lot to be proud of. As we look ahead to next year, we already have some goals set out for us, and we're sincerely looking forward, after a wonderful summer, to continuing our learning stories in the year ahead.